Welcome to week 13 of the NGDL fans, and this is a crucial matchup here for my Miami Dolphiones. We are up against our week 1 opponent, actually, and currently the leader in the division. If we win, we can definitely snipe the division away from the Detroit Red Wing attacks. So we're really hoping to do that, and I feel like I brought a really nice game plan. Obviously, in week 1, I made some questionable choices. But I think I've learned from that, and it's been a long season, and I'm hoping that I can knock this guy off, not only because, the division, because I finally want to beat this guy. Untraceablestrain has had my number super hard in recent battles. Pretty much all battles. I think I beat him, like, once. So, yeah, it's definitely a battle I want to win, and I need to win if I want to improve my seeding for the playoff draft. So here we are, a battle against Untraceablestrain's Detroit Red Wing attacks, and his rain draft, pretty much. So there's our teams. For the most part, he's bringing kind of what I expected. I wasn't really expecting Wheezing, and I'm kind of curious as to why he's bringing it. It's not really that helpful against most of my team, but I guess it can hit Scissor pretty hard. That's what he's worried about, though. If I'm him, I'm not really worried about Scissor, because Scissor really doesn't have, like, what does he have to worry about? Most of his team resists my stab moves. So, whatever. Anyway, he's going to go ahead and leave with Neuverns. I leave with Jolteon. I do not want to risk this thing being scarfed. I am a quick feet Jolteon again, unfortunately, so I need a turn in order to get the burn off on myself. And as you can see, he is going to go for the U-turn, so I am kind of thinking scarfed. But yeah, he's just going to U-turn against my Slowbro and just switch out into his Xurkitree, which is kind of more or less the obvious move. Now, I'm kind of expecting Z-Hypnosis, and either way, I can't really stay in because of, the electric move. He's actually going to switch into Ferrothorn, trying to pivot or predict my switch. And, yeah, I do indeed go into Goodra, and this is actually okay, because he's probably going to predict that I have, a fire move of some kind. So he is going to go out into Pelipper to, in his mind, hopefully take it, which is, of course, also going to set up Drizzle. And yeah, I'm actually just going to go for a superpower, because I decided to bring physical Goodra here, because number of reasons, actually. This Goodra is actually my main out Xurkitree, so I want to make sure I keep it alive. Anyway, my superpower isn't going to do a whole lot to Pelipper, so I'm then going to go into my Jolteon as he U-turns, which is more or less obvious. I kind of knew that he would U-turn. I didn't think he would Scald, obviously, because I would have hurt Jolteon a ton. And it's good for me, because now I get my burn off, which means now I can outspeed pretty much all of his team. And, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and Volt Switch, because I have nothing to do to this guy. This Ferrothorn is a huge problem, and it's really an excellent draft. I think his draft really was excellent. Ferrothorn fits his team perfectly, because, it pretty much stops anything, for me doing anything, basically. Because Ferrothorn's resistances match up very well with the rest of his team. So he's going to go ahead and set up a layer Spikes, which is interesting. Spikes have Stealth Rocks. I guess he realized that I'm probably not going to bring anyone that's immune to, that sort of thing. So, not a bad play. And he does reveal the Protect to see what I would do. And that's interesting. I wasn't thinking Protect, which means he probably only has one attacking move, if any. So I'm just going to go into Scissor, because I'm pretty sure he has nothing really to hurt me. And he's just going to go ahead and switch out into Pelipper. And, yeah, that's kind of advantage him, because I do not want to take a Scald at all. Because not only would it do, some good damage, but it also might get the burn. So I'm just going to go into my Slowbro, who should be able to take that Scald kind of nicely. I'm hoping that he doesn't get the burn. I mean, the residual damage is kind of annoying. He ends up getting a crit, but no burn, so I can deal with that, considering I know that I pretty much walled everything this Pelipper wants to do. So, yeah, he ends up having the Toxic. So that was kind of unexpected, but I did account for status he would try to bring. I decided to go for the Slack Off, and, seeing what he would do, I guess. Or maybe if you wanted to go for another Scald, I wanted to make sure Slowbro was healthy, even though I do have Regenerator, so didn't really need to do that, but whatever. I wanted to see what he would do, basically. And, yeah, that Toxic is interesting. I'm just going to go into Scizor again as he U-turns, which is more or less what I expected him to do. And he's going to go out into his Wheezing. So that kind of confirms my suspicions that he's bringing his Wheezing probably for my Scizor. But this is an opportunity for me to go for the Defog. Now, he might have Flamethrower. I decide to risk it. He ends up having Will-O-Wisp, which obviously is going to hurt Scizor's sweeping potentials. But looking at his team, I'm not sweeping with Scizor anyway. I mean, it's his team resists pretty much everything Scizor wants to do. So that bird, I'm not really even that upset about. Although I would like to superpower that Ferrothorn if I, can. But, yeah, just gonna go into Jolteon, though, because the Toxic on the Slowbro I do care about, and I am bringing Heal Bell on this Jolteon, which is neat. He's gonna go for the Protect, probably scouting to see if I have Hidden Power Fire. I do not. I actually have Hidden Power Grass on this guy because Quick Fate Jolteon can actually outspeed Mega Swampert in the rain, so I wanted that to obviously be faster, and maybe as a check to that, Mega Swampert he's probably going to try to sweep with. Anyway, gonna go ahead and Volt Switch, and yeah, this Ferrothorn takes literal crap from it, and he's just gonna Spikes, which is fine. I'm just gonna Defog. I don't even care what he does. I'm no longer burned, so that's cool. He's probably gonna want to go back into his Wheezing to get the burn back off on me. So that's fine. I'm just going to get the Defog. I really don't want the Spikes to be on the field. This is a kind of, as you can see, a battle of switching at the moment, and I cannot afford to take a penalty on the switch. Any switch, I'm going to go ahead and switch against this Wheezing, and I decided to go out into my Slowbro, because if he does have a fire move, I obviously resist it. And if he does try to go for the Will-O-Wisp, I'd rather this thing be burned than, poisoned. Here, I decided to be a little ballsy and predict the switch into Ferrothorn. And I get it, so I'm like, this is the play of the game. This is going to cripple this Ferrothorn. And then I miss, which really sucks. That would have done about 80 to 85% of this Ferrothorn, even if it's max special defense, which would have literally broke the game open for me, because that Ferrothorn stops so much what I want to do, and I am super pissed at this point, because that would have been huge, being able to get that thing just, crippled, and he even agreed with me. That was a huge play that went in his favor. I have to hope that I can overcome that, because that should have been a crippled Ferrothorn, which really would have helped. But, hacks is part of the game. We gotta just keep tricking. So anyway, he's gonna go back. I'm gonna go back into Bro, and it's gonna get poisoned, which makes me a little curious. He has a lot of status on this team. So now I'm kind of like, well, is that really Z Hypnosis? Because with all that status, I mean, especially with Toxic Spikes, it's gonna be hard to get that off. At least, I mean, I guess you could use it just for the speed, but you're not going to get the sleep on anything. So here I try to predict another switch, and I do get it yet again. Thankfully, this time I'm using Ice Beam, which does not miss. So I'm able to actually kill the Noivern, which is excellent for me. I have to feel really proud about myself predicting 2 of these switches here with Slowbro. I should have gotten that Ferrothorn nearly dead, and getting rid of that Noivern is definitely helpful, as a Scarf Noivern is just one less thing I have to worry about. Anyway, in comes Xurkitree. It's pretty much free for him at this point. I don't have to worry about the Hypnosis, because I don't think he's going to do it against a Pokemon that is already, poisoned. I decided to go into Goodra now, and, yeah, I end up having the Lumberry on this guy, and I also have Hydration, believe it or not. I just cannot get status on Goodra, and Goodra pretty much walls Xurkitree completely, and basically I have all that just in case he does have that Hypnosis, which I'm expecting, well, was expecting. Just going to go for the Earthquake, not to over-predict. He's going to go into Wheezing, so that's good. I really don't have anything to hit Wheezing anyway on this Goodra, so I'm just going to go right back into Slowbro, because worst thing he does that, is sets up the second layer, Toxic Spikes, which honestly I don't think even affects any of my Pokemon right now. So I don't even know why he went for it. I think pretty much all of my Pokemon are either statused or immune. I think, no, Porygon-z would be annoying. I still have Porygon-z and Greninja, which could be affected by that. Greninja is not that big of a deal, but Porygon-z could be. I don't know if I try to go for a sweep there. Anyway, just going to go for the Calm Mind, because I don't know what this Weezing's going to do. I kind of expect him to stay in, not wanting to go into Pharaoh, because he's now really afraid of my Fire Blast. And that's going to obviously improve the attack of my Slowbro, and I want to see if this Weezing has any damaging move. And he apparently does. He has the Sludge Bomb, which isn't going to do a whole lot after the... isn't going to do a whole lot after these Calm Mind, and I end up getting some decent damage there with Ice Beam. Now, he is going to do enough damage, though, that it's going to pretty much force me to try to heal. And he's just going to go for the Haze, which is actually really curious why he would do that now. Looking at my HP, there was, I mean, he might have been able to, with a high roll, to kill me. It's just a very curious turn to actually go for that Haze. You think he would have done it last turn, but he didn't, and he's going to Haze, which it does get rid of my Calm Mind, so at least there's that. And now I believe I try to switch it up for Fire Blast, hoping that he might try to go back into Ferrothorn. Instead, he's just going to go for the Sludge Bomb again and get a crit on top of it. And no, I don't go for the Fire Blast. I just go for the Slack Off again to be safe, which is good because he did crit. So there's another thing going against me in this match. I don't think anything's really gone my way yet, as far as, luck goes. So Come on, Lady Luck. I need some help here. I want to be first in this division. I want to beat Untraceablestrain. Anyway, so he's going to continue to Sludge Bomb me. I guess he thinks this is a good matchup, and he doesn't want to risk switching because he knows that my moves are kind of different than normal Slowbro. He knows I don't have a Psychic move, which is why I was able to probably force him out so easily previously, because he's obviously probably worried about a stabbed Psychic move, and now he knows I don't have it because he knows my entire set. My two attacking moves are, of course, Fire Blast and Ice Beam. I decide to switch out, though. I go into Scizor, and the reason I do that is because I'm immune to Sludge Bomb, and he seems kind of committed to that. And, yeah, I can actually just defog away those Poison Spikes, or Toxic Spikes, so I don't have to worry about them interfering with the potential Porygon-z sweep, which, yeah, kind of an interesting play. I'm going to bring this back up later. Anyway, he's just going to take the opportunity to burn me. I kind of expected him to, you know, trying to trade the, you know, burn for a defog, so them's the breaks. I can always get rid of them because I do have Heal Bell on my Jolteon. So I decided to go out into my Greninja. I was hoping that he would actually try to set up the Toxic Spikes again. Instead, he just goes for a Sludge Bomb, which damages me minorly. And I decided just to go for the Dark Pulse. I know he obviously is just going to... I mean, he could just switch into Pharaoh. I was hoping that he would maybe predict some shenanigans, because remember in the first battle, I did bring Choice Band Greninja. He doesn't know which Greninja I have yet. I ended up deciding to bring this time an Ash Greninja, and I don't have In-Power Fire on it either, so... yeah, that's a pretty good play. But it was a risky play for him to make. If I would have been, you know, the Greninja, you know, saw before, that could have been dangerous. Anyway, so he's going to reveal another status move on this Ferrothorn. He has T-Wave on it. And he ends up getting it on my Goodra, which is kind of fine. I mean, I decided to go out into Jolteon because I really do want to get rid of these hazards. Now, we haven't seen the fourth move in the Ferrothorn yet, and I am suspecting heavily it is Power Whip, but I decide it's worth it to go for the Heal Bell and hope that it's Gyro Ball. But the way he hasn't been using it, or using that fourth move, you know, assumably his attacking move, I'm kind of thinking it is Power Whip, and it is. So, yeah, I really needed to get rid of some of those status conditions, though, because literally my entire team was statused. I do have one more turn, oddly enough, with Jolteon again, and he actually doesn't protect here, which he probably should have done. That would have actually killed my Jolteon, but it doesn't really matter. I can now use my Jolteon as Death Fodder. It's at 3 HP. It can't even survive a turn of its burn. But, yeah, now that is kind of hurtful for me, and that's it's very good for him to get that Power Whip off, because now I lose my ability to get rid of status. And now his Will-O-Wisp will hurt. So, in comes Pelipper against my Scizor. I believe I just decided to go for the Defog again. So that's what I do. And no, I go for a Swords Dance. I have no idea why, because this Pelipper walls my two attacking moves I brought. I really should have brought U-Turn on this guy. But I stupidly decided to bring Bullet Punch, even though it's not really useful. I mean, I guess it is useful in a sense that I can finish things off that are weakened. But, yeah. This is as good a time as any, though, to use that Death Fodder on Jolteon. And what it actually does there is it forces his U-turn to fail, which will allow me to go into my Porygon-Z now, and I predict this amazingly. I decide instead of going for the Z conversion, because he's probably going to go for the Toxic or the U-turn or something, I'm just going to go for the Thunderbolt. And that ends up being amazing for me, because I get rid of the Pelipper, which means he cannot set up the Rain. So I feel really nice about that play. I did not decide to go for the Z conversion, and I also reveal the fact I have Thunderbolt on it. So, I'm kind of tipping the hand that maybe I'm going to be Electric Porygon-Z. So that's neat. Just gonna go into my Scizor, and he's just gonna go out into Swampert. He does go on a Swampert. Now, obviously, gonna go ahead and Mega Evolve. He already has the Rain up, but he doesn't have Pelipper anymore, which is huge. I needed to sack something, because I don't even think Slowbro can live 2 hits from this guy. So I decided to sack Scizor. Scizor, as I was saying, doesn't really match up well against his team at all. So it's kind of the thing I can sack at this point. Anyway, going to go ahead and slack off again as he goes out into Xurkitree, which is a good move. And, yeah, there's really nothing I can do to Xurkitree. So out into Goodra again I go. And, yeah, he does reveal that he is bringing the Z, Hypnosis, which I was starting to think he was doubtful considering how much other status he had on his move, and he had no idea. He would have no idea, at least I wouldn't think he would expect my Heal Bell Jolteon. So he would have had a really hard time getting this off if I didn't bring Heal Bell Jolteon. But it doesn't matter, guy, because I have Hydration Goodra. That's right. Specifically for your team. Especially for this Xurkitree. Getting all the ways of getting rid of all of the freaking statuses. Just, a really cool choice. And give credit, though, to Jill4Pres. He's been kind of helping me. We've been talking over our the teams I'm bringing. He's been a really big help for me in this league. So, and it was actually his idea to bring Hydration Gudra, so that's a good call. Anyway, yeah. Somehow Wheezing came out, and then I went out into Slowbro, because I guess I figure that this is the best thing I can go into. I don't remember my exact logic here, although I'm pretty sure Slowbro can actually outspeed Ferrothorn, which is still kind of crucial because I still have Fire Blast for... I have a Fire Blast with its name on it. But he is going to go into Xurkitree, which is a pretty safe move. He knows the best thing I can really do is Fire Blast, and that's what I decided to try to do. But obviously, that's going to get some chip damage. So, you know, it's going to wither down the Xurkitree. And now I go back into Gudra. Unfortunately, the spikes are still up. I couldn't get them down again, so he does have that one layer, which makes Gudra not quite as tanking of this Xurkitree as I would like, and he does carry the Hidden Power Ice as well, which I believe we saw earlier, I'm not sure, but I kind of expected it anyway, and unfortunately Gudra cannot live a Hidden Power Ice at that HP, so that sucks. I'm just going to go out into Greninja, though, and this is a Scarf Greninja, because Scarf Ash Greninja outspeeds his entire team, rain or no. And, yeah, unfortunately I wasn't really having the opportunity to switch into it that much. I decided just to go for the Dark Pulse. He still has his Ferrothorn, but instead he decides to go out into Wheezing, which I'm fine with, and I'm just going to stay in and try to get off my transformation. At this point, I'm hoping to win the game with Porygon-Z, and we're going to see how that goes. So I do get my Battle Bond boost and transformation to Ash Greninja. I need a safe switch, though. I would like a safe switch into Porygon-Z. I don't want to risk... He's going to go into Pharaoh. But I don't want to risk him going for the, predicting this and going for the T-Wave on the switch, because I do not want my Porygon-Z to get paralyzed. And, I don't actually think he's going to go for the T-Wave against my Porygon-Z. He's going to probably predict that I am, going to transform myself into an electric type, because it depends on the, you know, top move on your set, and most Porygon-Zs, and most of the ones I've been using in this tournament, have been electric. Because it tends to be the best overall type for Porygon-Z in Z conversion. So I go in here, and I could have went for the Hidden Power Fire right here. And maybe I should have. Because I go for that Z conversion, and I reveal that I instead decide to bring a Dark Porygon-Z, which is not one you see typically very often. But Dark type, he doesn't have a resistance for Dark type. Now, he ends up predicting that. And I don't know if it's just either, you know, Derp, Herp, Derp, oh, right. You were going to be, like, he just forgot that electric types are immune to paralyze, or he actually predicted that I wasn't an electric Porygon-Z, but that's huge, because not only does he get that, but he gets the Para-Hacks, which was first the Fire Blast miss, and this Ferrothorn would have not been a problem had I hit with the Fire Blast in the first place. It would have been gone. He wouldn't have been able to do that. So I am livid at this point, because of that Para-Hacks. The same turn that he'd used T-Wave, I'm not able to go for that, or turn after, I'm not able to go for the Hidden Power Fire just to kill it. Which also means that Xurkitree can come in, because I would have been able to live that Thunderbolt had he not gotten a Power Whip off on me. And I'm livid. I'll have a Slowbro, so that is game. And, you know... It's one that I think we prepared for very well. In fact, I am more confident going into the playoffs after this game, despite the loss, because everything went wrong in this match, pretty much. No luck went for me. And it's a match I really feel like I should have won, just because I think I outplayed him. I think I prepared better. But there is a playoff draft, and if we get matched up in the tournament, I want to be matched up against Untraceable. Because I want to take this guy out, because I am sick and tired of these shenanigans. It was a good game. It was a very well-played game on both sides, but it's one that I feel like I should have won. And, you know, that's part of the game. But I am confident. I am confident going into the playoffs. Good game, Untraceable. You clinch our division, so next week really doesn't matter that much against Orlando Till or Scapper, you know, facing the DC Sceptiles again. It does kind of matter because I can still try to improve my seeding, I think. But yeah, not a huge match, but one I hope you will look forward to nonetheless. The playoffs will be a stream that I will schedule and try to toss to you guys and give you guys like a 2 weeks notice. But it's going to be sometime after next week, probably like 2 weeks after. I'm going to try to, you know, get a time together. But anyway, let's just go into today's question of the day, and that is, With the playoff draft looming, we're gonna have the opportunity to add 2 more Mons to the Miami Dolphiones. Now we do have a cap increase, obviously, for those 2 Pokemon. Just leave a comment about what two Pokemon you think would fit good on your team. And I don't expect you to actually go ahead and check the spreadsheet to see if those Pokemon are available. But we're probably going to have a little over $40 more in cap. So leave a comment about what Pokemon you think, and maybe I'll take I'm still kind of brainstorming what I want to draft. What Pokemon do you think would fit good on the Dolphiones? Maybe I will notice your comment and say, hey, that is a great idea. Let's pull the trigger on that. All right, so leave a comment about that and see you guys again next time. Later.